Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. It's a warm up.
I told you how I warm up just then.
Could you show me again?
Sure. My sticky, sticky shoes. Why you stick on me, baby? You don't even know that.
Comment below if you know what she's doing.
People know. If you know, then you know. I'll be there for you. Phoebe, Friends.
Okay.
We need to watch Friends together.
Okay, I've watched it. Just it's been some time, and I definitely have not seen every episode.
I was like an addict. Like
an addict.
I was an addict.
Spit it out.
I still have trauma from it. I think I probably watched, like, you know, when you just go to bed at night, like, you know, you're on your own, you've got to put something on the TV.
Yeah.
So I would just, you know, put that on and it would playing through. So I know every word.
I was gonna say it's probably ingrained inside of your brain more than you even realize.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, everybody. Welcome to the Evolve with Emily show. I'm your host, Emily Hayden. And today, as you guys may have heard and recognized her beautiful accent and voice, I have my dear friend Kat on the show today. So welcome again, Kat.
Thank you.
Yeah, the last time that we had you on was actually for a Girl Talk episode. This is your third time on the show.
Yeah,
right?
I had the guest appearance on Shane's, then I had the Girl Talk with you, and then
now your solo episode.
We do have a secret one, but
yes, we do. That should be coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
But first solo episode, and I'm really excited because so much has happened since we last had you on the show. So I want to kind of update the listeners on some of these really big life changes that you've made. So you moved from LA to Texas. So tell us about that move. Tell us about maybe even like the feelings that you had before the move. Was it like just excitement? Were you fearful? Were you scared? Like, what was that process like? What was moving like? And then when you finally got here, like, just kind of explain that entire experience for us.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of excitement before coming to Texas, but also when it came down to the last 2 weeks of starting to pack and it became a reality, it was like, oh my gosh, we're actually moving to a different state. I don't know anyone there. I've never been to Texas. We came one time just to visit, and it was kind of nerve-wracking. So my nerves were more like, are we going to make friends? Are the people going to like us? Are they going to accept us from coming from California? I'm from England. And that is a story. When we did get there, there was someone that's our neighbors right next door to us. Bless their hearts, they're great people. But they basically were like, oh, you're British and you're from California? Oh my God, what's going on?
Oh no.
They were worried like we were going to be. I was like, no, we're good. Spot in the red.
Yeah.
But so yeah, no, I mean, I think the actual trip to Texas, when we were doing the road trip, the nerves set in a little bit because I was like, we've just bought a house. Never thought in a million years I'd say that I just bought a house within 2 months of like going to a place and buying the house. And I was like, okay, so we got the house and we were on the road trip. And I was like, I really hope that more so that people are just going to accept us for who we are and we're just going to be able to make some good friends. And when we got there, we came to the house. It was all excitement. You know, you're moving from a 600 square foot apartment to a humongous house, which I'm like, first of all, I'm like, oh, shit, I've got to clean this thing.
Yeah.
And
bigger house, bigger responsibility.
I know. It's a full-time job.
Yeah.
But so grateful to be able to do that. And, you know, and when we got there, it was, you know, all the excitement at first because all the new neighbors are there. They're coming to welcome us. And they were great. The response we got, other than, you know, a couple of jokes from him being from Boston, me from England, everyone was super, super nice. Aww. And that kind of started like that because it was the holiday season. Now, I have to say, you know, January, February sets in and people kind of go back into their, you know, their homes and their cubbies. And we were kind of like, okay. Well, I guess we got the welcome committee and now we're like, okay, we got to make some proper friends. These were kind of like friendships like, oh, you know, come hang out, let's do parties. And then now it's January. So I got into F45. I joined some classes, started going to the gym, really started kind of building my friendship group there through girls and meeting people. And for my future husband Shane, it was a little bit harder for him because I feel like girls kind of, I don't know if we just make friends more easily or it's just like the type of people that were here with my cup of teas, you know, like good people from Texas, nice people, good hearts, good souls. And I just really felt that they were very similar to me and what I believe in. Whereas I know that Shane struggled a little bit more with finding people within his community. So for me, when I'd see him struggle, it kind of made me feel really bad because I was like, oh my God, I love this. I love being here. But I could see as the few weeks went on, he was kind of withdrawing and he wasn't quite settling in. And eventually, he got in his groove and he found some good meetings and he met some people from Boston, from his hometown.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So I was like, great. And now, he sees them once a week and he has his buddies, and I just see that coming through again, which made me feel better. So it took a while for him to settle in. It took me a little bit more easier. But now that we're here, the things that come up now is more that cleaning the house, these stupid little problems that we have. We got a lawn mower. We found our first
mower.
Oh yeah, mow the lawn.
Mow the lawn.
I found our first snake.
What kind, do you know?
Emily, just so you know, let me just, for any listeners that don't know, in England we do not have snakes, we do not have cockroaches. We have the odd spider and the odd fly, which I can deal with absolutely. But snakes, no, ma'am.
So what did you do?
Can I really tell the viewers? Am I going to be judged?
You know what? It's okay, because I would have done the same thing.
Okay. Well, what I did personally was I ran inside and squealed the house down, and the dogs were like, "What is going on?" And I was like so scared. And then Shane's like, shuts the door. He's like, "I got this." And I'm like, "Okay." Slam the door, and then all I hear is like banging of a hockey stick, and I'm like, "Is everything okay?" And he's like, "Just stay inside." It's like a movie, like a moment, like, "Okay." And then I hear banging again, and I hear like, and I'm like, "Oh my God, is he alive? Am I going to come out there? My husband's dead with a snake."
Yeah.
And then so I eventually, I came out to a dead snake. And I know we're not supposed to kill snakes.
You know what? Here's the thing. Because you guys have 2 dogs, right?
That's the threat. Yeah.
That's the threat. That's the thing, is like, I'm not about to be like, you know what, kind, loving snake, you go hang out in the corner and I'll let my dog. No.
Yeah.
Like,
and I did feel bad because I saw it and I was like, I don't like snakes, and I just felt guilty because in my heart I was like, "Oh my God, it's in pain."
I know.
But Shane said in the moment, the dogs, if he got bitten, we didn't know whether it was a poisonous one or not. It was late at night. It was in our garage. Once if it, the dogs went out. So
you're in good company. You're in Texas, where we take care of our home and our house.
Okay, good.
Nothing and nobody is allowed to enter our house ever.
I would understand if it was on the street. Just leave it alone. But it was in my garage. Nope. And that was no can do.
That's a no. That's one thing that I love about Texas people in general, is that we're all very strong-willed, in the sense that, like, we're very kind, very loving, very accepting. But when it comes to our perimeter of our household, which is like our safe space and where we have our family and everything that we love and care about, it's supposed to be our like peaceful zone. Anything and anyone that comes and tries to disrupt that is, by Texas law, going to be eliminated.
I love that. Be eliminated. It's great.
100%. We eliminated the threat.
Eliminated.
That's all we had to do. What an incredible journey, though. And I know a lot of people who have made that big move for themselves can relate to that. Like, anytime you're making such a big change in your life, it can be really scary. And sometimes it's not always like really easy or happy. I'm sure there were days where maybe both of you guys, or maybe just Shane, was feeling that like, oh, I'm in a new spot. I don't really have my people yet. And so even that transition can be uncomfortable. But I think it's beautiful that you guys have, 1, been able to take the journey together, and 2, really find your groove. Yeah. Something that you guys have been doing recently to find this groove is a new hobby. Can you explain the new hobby that you guys have together?
BJJ.
And should I even say hobby? You're basically a professional, because I heard through the grapevine that you just got a white belt. Hey,
I know, white belt, 1 stripe. Woo! I love it.
There's actually an applause that I was trying to find, but that one works too.
That was great. It was perfect. Yeah. So we just started, and actually, I didn't really mention that, but Shane came across a guy in the neighborhood. And again, everyone in the neighborhood has been so great and welcoming. And we have finally now got a really good group of people. But this guy was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes outside of his garage. And he was like, "I want to go try it." And he was just like, "Do you want to come and do it with me too?" And I was like, used to be a dancer. Got short nails. Maybe I could do that. I don't know if I could like fight, like I've got like goodness in me. Am I able to like go around?
I've got goodness in me.
I'm like, can I like choke someone out and be okay with that? And like, and
what's
I have
the answer to that?
Absolutely. I got my 1 stripe now already.
Hey.
But the first class I did, I went against this girl and I was like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, her hair's getting in my hands and I'm like, oh, pardon me. And now I'm just like, oh, sorry, if you lose the hair, it's part of the role. But it really brought awoke a different side of me that I thought I would never probably, awaken.
Wow. What side of you is that? Like, what does it allow for you to come out?
My like anger, which I again like I'm not
controlled and
controlled
methodical
anger, aggressive
Yeah.
cuddling and controlled
aggressive
anger.
cuddling.
Yeah.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys,
Yeah,
aggressive
it's
cuddling.
just aggressive cuddling. And I honestly can
Sounds
tell
great.
you, it's fantastic. We got to roll
I
sometime.
know. I would love to. I've only done it a few times, and I've had a few really amazing instructors in those very few times. But it's something that I'm looking to get more into as well.
Yeah.
I actually just hired a fight trainer. We're just not at the BJJ yet.
Oh, you'll get there.
Yeah.
And then we'll roll.
Yes.
And then we'll film that and we'll show everyone.
I think it'd be great because I'm a lot bigger than you are, and I know you could whoop my butt. So I think we should try it. Maybe we should do it downstairs.
Right. I'm down. Let's just make a TikTok and do it there.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's just try.
I think it'd be great.
It's fantastic.
I like to be humbled too, so I think we need to make that happen.
It's fine. I should have brought my gi and my belt. Darn it, next time.
Yeah, so you could choke me out with it.
Yeah, that's the fun thing though. And I have to say as well, as doing it with Shane, it feels like couples therapy because sometimes we'll roll together. And of course, he's like way stronger and heavier than me. But if you can learn the techniques and how to like go around that and work with your body, you can at least fend off someone who's got a like way more weight on you, way more muscle, and that just makes me feel way safer as well. Like, obviously moving from California, it was way more scarier out there. In Texas now I feel way much safer, but there's always a threat.
Yeah.
So the fact that now I can maybe survive if someone tries to attack me by just doing a couple of maneuvers, it makes me feel more confident going out and going on my own and stuff as well.
Yes, and I think that's such a huge draw for especially women to get trained in some sort of fighting or some sort of self-defense. And I think BJJ is a really great option because, a lot of fights always end up on the floor, always end up on someone on top of each other because it's very easy like when you're standing, but like as soon as you go to the floor, okay, what now?
Yeah.
Especially like what you're saying if they're a lot larger than you.
Oh, yeah.
So I love that it's been able to give you more confidence. And I think every woman should seek, something out like that so that they can have that confidence within themselves.
It just stops you from panicking. Like, when all of a sudden you've got 200 pounds on top of you. The first few classes, I was like, oh my God, this is too much. But now it's like, breathe through it. Think about it, and you've got this. You can figure it out. So.
It's crazy how much mindset training it is, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what's so fun about it because I love like all mindset training, and so any opportunity that I have to train my mind, I'm doing it. Like for example, I told you I hired a fight trainer. And so we're starting just with some basic like boxing and footwork and whatever. And it's funny because he's really not like my style trainer that I would ever hire. He's not like the one that makes me happy and feel good. He's the one that's sitting there telling me every single thing to do and every single thing that I'm doing wrong all at the same time.
Yep.
And it's like information overload. And I'm like, I'm trying, but I'm failing, And so it's funny because like, it's not, like I said, it's not a trainer that I would just like go out there and it's not a feel good trainer.
Right.
But what I recognize is that I'm so uncomfortable with it. I'm like, perfect.
Good. It's pushing you.
Yes. So now when he tells me all those things, I literally in my head, if I even start to chatter or start to make excuses or start to be like, I'm literally trying to do all these things. I tell myself, shut up, shut up. Just whatever he says, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And I just do it. And it doesn't feel, because he's not the one to tell you you're doing this good or you're doing a good job. It's everything you're doing wrong. And that's usually something that I would go for somebody that's like a softer encouragement, I guess. Not like I like when people are truthful, but when it comes to training, I really like, hey, you're doing this really good. Now fix this, So
you need like a little bit of comfort, positivity first, and then tell me about the constructive criticism.
Yeah, well, or even if say that I'm in like a punching combo, if you're just telling me all the things I'm doing wrong, it's like I might just get angry and angry. But if you tell me like, hey, when you twist your foot, that's perfect, then I execute it perfect every time. So I thrive off of that. So my point for bringing that up, very long story, is just that like I'm mindset my training myself right now to shut up and listen.
Right. I feel like that's the same with our trainer. He's great, and he's jokey too, but he's very like, if you're doing it wrong, he's not going to mollycoddle that because at the end of the day, they want you to get it the right way. So that if, you need to do this or you want to compete and you're getting it the right way. So I think that's like tough love. And I have to say some days I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want, because we're going 5 days a week.
5 days a week?
Yeah.
Oh man, you really are going to kick my butt. I don't know if I'm ready for this. She wasn't ready. I can see Kevin Hart now.
You're so strong. Like, let's see. I think this is going to be a great TikTok.
You know how it is, though. It's if you know the method of it all. So, which I know you're very.
I still don't know if I could choke you out, though.
I think you could.
You're smiling.
This is going to be fun. I'm excited.
Me too.
Pair that with me going. So, and while we're kind of on this topic, I actually recently had a friend who, she had a little bit of like this stalker situation, and then someone tried to break into her home, and she thankfully wasn't there, but she has it like all on camera.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
so now she's like living in this state of fear. And my heart was really going out to her because I can't imagine being in that scenario. I'm so glad she wasn't at home, but then she had to ask herself, like, what if I was home?
Right.
And the worst part is that she called the cops, and she was like, it was so unsettling to see how long it took the cops to get there.
Oh my
She was like, if someone
gosh.
would have come in and
Yeah.
actually been inside of my home, like, who knows what would have actually happened,
Yeah.
So I think it's important because we like to think that the world is like super nice and, that would never happen to us. But I think it's just so much more important to be prepared and to have a skill set and to have a piece or two, honestly, if we're going to get real here, and be really trained in all these methods of personal protection, because at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to be prepared for these things. None of those things are ever deserved, but I think it's just smart in this day and age.
I agree. You can't always rely on, the police and to come right now. You have
or
to
even your
protect
spouse.
yourself. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, which is why I'm so glad that you guys are both doing it together. Because when you're with Shane, no questions asked, you guys are fine.
I feel safe, and then the dog too. And I'm
oh my gosh,
fine.
You literally live in the safest house in the world.
A little alligator there, just barking.
I come in smiling, and I'm like, should I be concerned?
Like, no, you're good people. Don't worry, he won't get you
unless you say something wrong to his mom.
This is all new to me though, as well. Like, I've never had a dog that's kind of in the house as personal protection, as well as having another animal as in Shane, being trained and all of these. He's the number one animal. And now it's like I'd never touched a gun before and never done all this. So it really is, like I said, unleashing that other side of me that I didn't know that I had.
That's so fun. And that's the whole point of like evolving as a person, right? You try these new things and you unlock parts of yourself that you didn't even realize were there. And that's why I think it's so important to never get too comfortable in your routine or in all the things that you already do, but to always like seek out to try out new experiences, even if you try it and you hate it and it's not for you, because not everything is for everyone, but seek out something fun and see if maybe that becomes a new passion, a new hobby. You turn into this super professional BJJ girl that can kick anyone's butt. And not just are you an awesome BJJ white belt, but you actually just hit 100K on TikTok. Woo! What? And the crowd goes crazy. No, not that one. That one. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I did celebrate in my own way with pink powder being sprayed all over me by Shane. Thank you very much.
Yeah, not your choice. No. Honestly, let's be honest. Knowing Shane, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been way worse. So I'm grateful.
That was a nice prank.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty nice of him.
Okay, so take us through your journey of TikTok. And before we do that, what's your TikTok? Shout it out.
Boston and the Brit.
And oh my gosh, it's so funny because before we were friends, I found your TikTok videos through Tommy, right? Because he showed me you guys, and then I found your videos and I was like, I want to be friends with them. Like, they are so funny. They are so awesome. And now I actually get to be friends with you guys, which is great. But I remember like your TikToks first started out as these like funny little pranks and stuff that you guys would do on each other, or even like these cute couple ones. So talk about your TikTok journey in the sense of like how it started, and how you've kind of found your groove in it. Because I feel like you guys have really found a groove in the content that you do. So talk about that a little bit.
So we were just talking earlier as well when I came in, how bad my first TikTok was. Like, if you ever want to go back, I left it on there, scroll through, and it's me just sitting there bored in the house eating Cheez-Its and M&Ms and
bored in the house, bored in the house.
That's the one. Just so bad. But I was new to it and we just started quarantining. I was bored in the house and I was like, let's just, do a TikTok. And it started out as my personal TikTok and me just basically breaking Shane's balls and doing pranks and doing riddles and annoying like his whole entire being of life, trying it while he's working, because I lost my job. So I had a lot of time and he was still kind of working a little bit. So anyway, the fact that he stayed with me is great through all of this.
You're like, this told me everything I needed to know.
I knew he was a good one. So it was kind of just like pranks and then, jokes. And then I started to realize, you can do video editing and get more creative. And people loved Shane and his humor and the way we kind of bounced off each other, with him being from Boston and me from British, and him being New England and stealing everything that they know from us, you know. So it's like we'd have that banter, you know, the red coats would come in, the Boston Tea Party, and we kind of just played off that. And I think when we started to get like kind of a little bit more following was when we would do like Boston words and British words and American words and that kind of things. And then just moving forward, just we would kind of like, he started doing them back to me. And then it was like, you know what, let's just turn this into a couples page. And so far it's been great. The most recent one we just did, Shane took a lot of, what do you call it? Trolling or hits? Well, I see I'm not even up to date. Like, a lot of like feedback. So
a lot of troll feedback.
It's troll feedback. But you know what? Like and he's very good at being like, you don't take that personal. They don't know us, but you know, you're always going to get them, and no press is bad press, I think. So if you keep
100%.
commenting on it, but basically I slammed the car door as a prank, and you know, he came out in his Boston accent and told me what was up, and people were like, oh my goodness, blink twice if you're in trouble.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I'm fine. And then people came to our rescue and like, she's fine, he's from Boston. And it's just been like this back and forth.
Yeah.
So that's been great. But you know, so it's just fun. Like, I'm not doing it like, oh my God, I've got to make it every day, but I'm like enjoying it. And when it comes up, and like, if it is something that we can keep growing and adding to, you know, our little portfolio, then why not? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. What is one tip that you guys have for new TikTokers? Asking for a friend. I'm the friend.
Just be you, like authentically you. Be silly. I feel like TikTok, you don't have to be, you know, perfect. Like Instagram almost used to be like, you know, you post things, it's like, oh, show the best part of the day and best part of what's going on in my life. And now I think that's growing more and more to actually show real stuff. And I think TikTok's just like a place where people go just to kind of like have that release at the end of the day, or when they wake up in the morning, they want to have a laugh. They want to see something funny, sometimes inspirational too. And it's just like, just do it all. You know, you can be everything. I don't think you need to stick to one genre. Just do it all, you know?
Yeah, just try something and see if it sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create TikToks today.
Yes.
So follow me on TikTok, Emily Hayden _. I believe I have 34 followers at the timing of this recording.
Just you wait. Give it
on
6
my
months.
way up, guys. Okay, so Boston and the Brit TikTok. You guys also have a new company as of moving to Texas. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So
as I drink my tea.
As you drink your tea, where's your pinky?
Tea
Come
time.
On. Come on, girl.
I know.
Get your pinky up.
Just went inside.
A little paper in the tea. It's
a
fine.
heavy cup. Okay.
It is heavy. So through creating Boston and the Brit, you know, we were like, I love tea. I drink tea 20 times a day. Always asking Shane if he wants a cuppa, and he's like, no, I'm not British, but thanks for the offer.
I'm not British.
I was like, what can I do after I'm not working? And I don't want to just use this time and just be like, okay, you know, I didn't really do too much. So I was like, let me think about what I like doing. I was like, I'd love to make some tea. And I was like, well, how do I do this? Can this really be a thing? So I told it to Shane, and Shane was like, it's a great idea, and we should use the Boston Tea Party, because he was always breaking my balls about being a red coat and how, you know, Paul Revere and took reign against the British. And so we said, that's a great idea. And we just kind of stumbled upon it, and we started kind of throwing the ideas and logos, and I started ordering herbs.
I love it.
Herbs. And, you know, kind of playing with different ingredients and seeing what things would work. And just, again, ultimately creating a certain amount of flavors that we've kind of started slowly rolling out, and it's been really good feedback. And I have to say, if I think if we'd have launched this in California, maybe this is just guessing, but I don't think the response would have been as good. But in Texas, I feel like there's so much community and support for small businesses, and you know, like that kind of, let's support the smaller people and let's build them up, and we've just got great support from that.
That's so incredible. Really nice. Yeah, as soon as I saw you guys launched, I went ahead and bought my own box, because I was like, you know what, I need to see if this tea is all it's cracked up to be. That rhymed.
That was great.
That was good, right?
Yeah.
And so I tried it, and I genuinely was like very impressed the first time I tried it. And then I hosted people at my house, and we drank tea every single day, and they were just like raving about it. And I was like, these are my friends that own this tea company, and I was telling them all about it. So if people want to grab some tea and try it, where can they go?
You can go to www.bostonandthebrit.com.
And grab some tea. What are your favorite flavors? Because I know you can do like a variety pack.
Yeah,
right?
you can do. Yeah, you can. The blackberry tea is really good if you're craving something sweet and you kind of just don't want to eat bad.
I had that yesterday.
Mm-hmm. The breakfast blend, Boston Harbor breakfast blend, is always good, just to give you a little pick me up. Earl Grey is a real hard hitter, and the chai, the Queen's chai is really
Oh
nice
yes,
as
the
well.
Queen's chai. I love that one.
Yeah.
So good. Well, what is next for you guys? What's on the horizon? What's something that you guys are excited about? It could be anything, like a trip, or it could just be business wise. What's kind of in the future for you guys?
So as long
Child.
yeah. So originally we were gonna get
Baby Boston and the Brit. Oh my gosh, you could do a whole line of Baby Boston.
We could make clothes, the little Jen,
so
Boston and the Brit, all that
cute.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Half Boston, more British, or something like that on a t-shirt. Or like 30% Boston, 70% British. Oh, shit,
I love it.
So yes, we were originally gonna get married first and then try for kids. But with COVID and my family not being able to come out to America just yet, we were going to get married in October. We might have to push it to April. So in the meantime, it's if we by accidentally stumble upon a baby bump in my stomach, then it's great. So we're not, practicing any precautions or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying. We want kids. We want to have a family and build our little empire.
Oh
and
my
then
gosh.
just so we're kind of just on that. We're gonna plan the wedding eventually. I looked at some wedding dresses a few weeks ago, and just kind of still getting this Boston the Brit. We started doing farmers markets once a month, so it's kind of fun too. And I'm a British girl at the market.
Yes.
2 baht a pound. Come on, guys, have a cup of tea. Gazers, come on in. I love it. Like you come over here. I love selling.
You're literally made for it.
Yeah. Shine your shoes as well if you buy a cuppa.
Will you?
Yeah, of course. Why not? I'm a geezer. But yeah, that's in me. Like my dad was from London, you work the London markets and stuff. So
yeah.
It's just very exciting. And just again, we still have bad days. I still have days where I wake up and I'm like, oh, am I doing all this right? And actually a couple days ago, me and Shane went through something both personal and just kind of like had one of those days like, are we doing all this? Self-doubt came up. And it's so crazy because this little madam sent us a voice text to both of us, and we hadn't spoken to her. She had no idea what we were going through. And it was basically like, you guys are killing it and just building us up, and where you are right now, I'm so proud of you, and you guys should be proud of yourselves. And it literally brought tears to mine and Shay's eyes. Aww. Because she had no idea. So it's like, we are connected in some way. Yeah. And it just basically, it helped us get through. And it's really important to have those days, I think, and have those people around you that are so in tune with you, that can kind of feel what you're going through without even knowing. And that's how I feel blessed. And I know we're in the right place. And I'm so glad you moved out here.
Me too. Oh my gosh. When I heard that you guys were moving, I was so sad. And then when I realized it was to Texas, I was like, hold on, I am right behind you.
Right? I'll be following you.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. It's so sweet. And I agree with what you're saying. I think it's so important to have people around you that can really speak life into you. And not just that, but like on my end, you guys had crossed my mind a few times. And I was like, that's kind of weird, like over and over. Yeah. And I wasn't like on social. I was actually really focused on the work that I was doing. And then that morning it was like 3 times as I was getting ready and I was like, all right, I'm doing it. Yeah. And so I pull it out and I was like, and it's just these thoughts were coming to mind that like how great you guys are doing and just the difference between you guys living in LA and you guys living here and how beautiful it is. And I think for me, I've just learned to see someone's life journey and see the beauty and even the mess. Right. Like even the messy parts is so beautiful because I know what it's creating in them and I know what like the outcome is, and not to say that I know what's going to happen or anything, but I just know that it's going to be something beautiful. Yeah. So I think it's really important that when a friend crosses your mind that you do reach out and you make that effort. Don't let the time go past, like reach out right away and speak life into people every chance that you get because you never know if somebody needs it. And that's also how you create those like really good lasting friendships. I think we come from a city where a lot of people, it's a very selfish city, honestly. Yeah. Like I'm trying to sugarcoat it, but I shouldn't. It's a very selfish city. And so you don't always find those people that are willing to like go out of their way for you or to show up for you. And I remember meeting you guys in LA and I was like, oh, you guys are different. Yeah. And so I'm so thankful that we get to have like an in-person relationship and we only live like barely an hour, right? I mean,
it's a great drive. I was listening to music, cruising down. I will drive here anytime.
Me too. Yeah. I'm coming to y'all's place next.
Absolutely. We're going to get on I can't get the fire pit out. It's too hot. Texas heat is coming and I'm excited though. I'm very excited. Shane's not, but I'm excited.
Get ready because it's going to be hot and wet. You walk out and your hair just goes.
But doesn't your skin get really good
Yes,
though? Apparently,
yes.
like it's shiny. So, it's fine.
You know what? I will embrace it any day.
Mhm.
And okay, so before we close out, just really quickly, I just remember you in LA and that version of you, and now this version of you. And what I think is the biggest difference is like you're just like lit up. Like you just seem like there's a light from the inside out that's just beaming. So, what would you tell to somebody who maybe is that previous version of you who is maybe in a place where they don't feel connected, maybe in a place where they don't have great friendships, they don't really have like a job or feel like they have much purpose, and they're kind of in that struggling season of like, I don't feel like this is it. What kind of advice would you say to them?
First of all, I got goosebumps, so thank you. Because I
Course.
feel it too. I do feel completely like I've gone like a 180 from what I was when I left LA to what I am now, and it's only been like 5 months. So I do have to say, if you're going through it right now, make the changes. Don't be fearful. Be okay with kind of cutting something out of your life, cutting people or cutting things that aren't bringing you peace and happiness and just joy, because you hold on to things because, like you say, it's routine, it's known, you're used to it. But making that leap and moving here and being fearless and doing it has just changed everything. And finding good people around you, like surrounding yourself, like I am so grateful that I found so many good people now. And it's a game changer because they lift you up. And my energy is like when I hang out with someone, I feel like uplifted even more. I don't feel that downtrodden. So if you are going through it, try and make the changes. Speak to people. Find like groups that like go to the gym. Go to people. Find people that are like minded, and try and like pull yourself out. But know that it'll get better because you can't stay down forever, and you can't stay in those moments. Things change, life changes, everything changes, and it's gonna get better. Because I'll tell you, and this is very personal. I remember one time, and I'll think about it all the time. I was on my kitchen floor in our 600 square foot apartment. Shane and I had argued. The dogs were all freaked out because we shouted, whatever. He'd left, and I was crying my eyes out. And I was like, I just want a friend to call and tell him, like, I need some, like, advice. I need help. I don't, it was so bad at the time in my head. It wasn't even a bad argument, but because you don't have support around you. And I now know that if I ever go through that, I know I have certain people to call and lean on and just do it, because I'll be there for anyone who is ever going in that situation. Reach out to me and I will always give my time, because I know what it feels like to feel like you're alone, feel like you're going through something and you've got no support. And now it's just, you'll get through.
You're such an angel. You really are.
An angel that can choke you out.
That's going to be the little clip we post on Instagram. An angel that can choke you out. Ding. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Evolve with Emily show. If you enjoyed it, if it brought value to you, make sure to send it to a friend. I'm going to link all of Kat's links down below. So her Instagram, her TikTok, Boston and the Brit. I'll even put Deviant Gentleman on there. Just give Shane a little, give him some kickback for letting you come over here.
Let me come to the city for the day.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Before we close out, you have to tell on Shane. What did he do before you left for the city?
I mean, he surprises me every day and with something he does. So this really took me back, though. He said, "What time are you leaving?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm leaving at like 9:45 or whatever." He left the house, went and filled the car with gas, checked all the tire pressure. Like, he was like, "I'm going to make sure you don't have a flat or anything." He pulled the back seats down to make sure I could see through the back window, got me all set up. And I was just like, so grateful for those little things. Like, that cost him a little bit of time, cost him nothing to do that, but that means so much more to me than anything. And I'm really, really grateful for those little things that he does. So yeah, definitely big shout out to that. And
such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
What's funny is I'm thinking in my head about all the TikTok people that are like, "Are you okay?"
Right.
And you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He would respond to your comment, but he's filling up.
He's too busy filling up the tank of gas for me, making sure I have my cup of tea before I go, doing all these things. It's like, and that's why I say it. You read those comments like, you don't know us. Let it be. It's a TikTok, whatever. But he is an amazing human. I can't wait to really marry him.
Oh, I can't wait either. Well, thank you again for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me again. I love it.
Of course. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.